Moses now speaks his final words to the people of Israel. He's exhorting the Israelites to be strong and courageous. He knows that he's not going to enter the promised land. But God deals with him very graciously. He has him climb up the mountain to see all of the territories that God has promised to the ancestors of Israel, to his ancestor. Moses, remember, also appears in the New Testament on the Mount of Transfiguration. If you remember, when Jesus is transfigured in front of his disciples, Moses does appear in the promised land. Moses is encouraging this generation to be strong, to be courageous. And here we read that Moses climbed Mount Nebo, and the Lord showed him the whole land. How gracious of him. And the Lord says that this is the land I promised on oath to your ancestors. And Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there. The Lord buried him, but to this day, no one knows where his grave is. So that's the incredible death that Moses dies, buried by God himself, after appointing Joshua as the leader who will succeed him. Joshua is the right man for the job because he was Moses' young aide. He had not joined the Israelites in their rebellion. Moses predicts the rebellion of the Israelites after his death, and this is hard for him. He knows because God's Spirit reveals to him that after he is gone, the Israelites will continue in their wayward behavior, and that is heavy for Moses. But he is encouraging Israelites to turn to God when they rebel and to remember the graciousness of God. God buries Moses in a secret grave, and that's probably because, Israelites who were prone to idolatry, just like the pagan nations around them, God did not want his grave converted into a shrine, because that is human tendency even today. We turn objects into these symbols of worship. We are very prone to idolatry too. Idolatry might look different for us today, but God discourages these practices. He does not want any created thing or object to be held in the same esteem as God or to have the same honor as God. It is abhorrent to God. So idolatry in all its forms is rejected. No relics, no graves, no shrines are to be revered before God. Of course, we give people the honor they are due, but never equivalent to God and never approaching anything resembling worship. Now, all of these books are written for Christians today, right? Romans 15:4 says these things were written so that they could be examples for us to benefit from the sins of the Israelites. One of the objections that people have against the Bible is that the Bible records all types of gore. Is it glorifying violence? Far from it. What the Bible does not sanitize any aspect of human behavior for us. It shows human beings in its depravity. It shows God's response to them. It shows God's judgment. It also shows God's graciousness. So it tracks people over generations without glossing over their sins, their failures, their rebellion. And then it shows the consequences of their sins. Sometimes the consequences last for generations, the sins of the fathers affecting their children. But you find that God is gracious, very eager to forgive when people turn to him. So these are not, mythical figures that are capable of doing supernatural things. These are ordinary human beings like you and I, capable of sins, violent tendencies, corrupt behavior, very, very keen to fall from God at the first instigation, lured by temptation. But here, through these examples, Christians are meant to understand that God is kind, gracious. He does not let sin go unpunished. He doesn't wink at sin. God punishes sin. There is an ultimate punishment for sin. But for those who confess, those who turn to Jesus, those who have their sin nature dealt with, By trusting the sacrifice of Christ, God gives them a new heart, gives them new desires, so that they closely reflect the attributes of God, the character of God, and live in a way that is pleasing to Him.